for Students for Organic United Living. We chose it because we thought it really signified what the garden stood for. One very powerful word, soul. We have soul. It's just a strong, powerful word that signifies what we stand for.
Yeah, Students for United Organic Living really embodies what our goals are at the garden and what we want to accomplish as like a unit. We want our garden to have its own personality. We want it to like have a life of its own and really incorporate itself into the people's lives who are working on it with us.
What kind of produce do you grow in the soul garden?
This is our first season. We planted a summer crop. We had corn and peppers, and then we planted our fall crop later in July, and we planted radishes and turnips, spinach, carrots, kale, cool beans, jalapenos, and then our pumpkins and squash, which we still have now.
Where does the produce go after harvest?
Well, that's a good question, and as our garden matures, we will be finding places for it. Right now, it kind of didn't necessarily go to anyone in particular. It was just whoever was at the garden that day working with us, and we would share it with everyone, and we've had a couple dinners where we ate our produce there. But in the future, we want to do have a row called a planter row, which is where you plant a row, and then after it matures, you donate it to Interfaith Food Shuttle. Is that correct? Yeah, Interfaith Food Shuttle. And also next year we will be selling plots in one of the two garden beds, and you can have your own 4x3 plot to grow whatever you would like in it for $10 for the whole summer. And when you purchase that, it kind of incorporates not only having the ground itself, but being a part of the gardening days and taking care of the garden itself. So it's a little bit of everything.
How is this project funded?
Well, the Soul Garden got started, I think, outside the brick competition. And it was the first year that the brick outside the brick competition was started, and we won a $1,000 grant to start the garden. But we're looking for additional sources of funding. But we made some really good investments with that grant, and so we'll be able to sustain ourselves for a really small amount of money every season.
Yeah, we also received some appropriations money from student government this fall. We started our own club. It's called the Soul Garden Club, unsurprisingly. And also by selling the plots for $10, we'll have a little bit of revenue coming into the spring. So we hope to have a budget of about $400 or $500.
How can people get involved?
There are a lot of ways that people can get involved, depending on what it is that they want to do exactly. We had garden work days every Sunday from noon to 2:30 whenever we get the work done, and those were a lot of fun. We built this box, we are working on building a fence, we just work on whatever needs to get done currently in the garden. People can sign up to take over watering of the garden for one day a week. That's a great way to commit one day, just come out, enjoy the garden and water it for the group. And if hard, physical, fun labor in the garden isn't your thing, then you can sign up to work on a project. Some people came to me and they had a great idea of starting a greenhouse powered by solar panels at the garden, so they're working really hard on getting that started right now. So whatever it is you're interested in doing, just come out and work on it.
Also, if you are curious or looking to get involved and you don't know where to go, you can go to our Facebook page. It is Soul Garden, or NC State Soul Garden, and also our email address is mail.soulgarden@gmail.com, correct?
What goals do you have for the future of this program?
Well, I mean, of course, you always want to have your project survive past your tenure at college. And, our goal is to make it a self-sustaining project. So every year we don't have to go ask people for money, or every year we don't have to get new people involved, but people will be willing to help. And eventually, if we can prove that this is a good project on Centennial, perhaps we could take it to main campus and have gardens outside of dorms, or even change the project slightly to incorporate fruit trees and things like that around campus, to just basically beautify campus and create that campus community that is not necessarily always there around the garden.
What kind of involvement is there with the NC State Farmers Market?
The campus farmers market has been really supportive. Tomorrow we are tabling with them. We're sharing their table at the farmers market to spread awareness about our group as well. They have vendors that are actual farmers, so we probably will not ever have our own soul garden booth, but they stand for the same thing we stand for, is providing real, sustainable food that's healthy for people and for the environment.
Do you have any outreach programs?
Yeah, actually, Lauren has had several garden work days where we've had people from the community come in. Haven House has participated, Sea Slups has participated. Who else?
Those two groups have participated so far. We're looking to get more elementary school and high school kids involved. We feel like it has a great value as an outreach tool to spread the message about sustainable agriculture. We have a youth community security class coming that is a class taught at NC State that's coming to plant our cover crop for us, actually. So that's another good way to have a community outreach.
How can you further integrate your program with the community?
Well, it's an interesting question, and I think it can be kind of approached by defining what the community is. The Soul Garden is open to anyone, and while it mostly involves NC State students right now, we want to integrate it into classes, like the food science class that wants to help. Dr. Patterson's class, his intro class, the freshman class, he wants us to talk about the garden at the during class time, and so just by spreading the word about the garden and about growing crops yourself, it's not only just the garden, but it's just the practice of growing food that at your house, as opposed to having to go to the store and buy food or having to go somewhere else and buy food. It's all about doing something for your community to beautify it, to improve it, and to make it like a useful piece of land.
In terms of hunger and poverty, how will the community be able to benefit from the Soul Garden?
Well, like Chris said before, we have two 12 by 24 foot beds right now, and one of them will be sectioned off into rentable sections, and one of them will be just for students who want to volunteer their time and not actually rent a plot and just come and work. And all of that produce from that bed will be donated to Interfaith Food Shuttle for their Planter program. So it's a great way to help hunger and homelessness.
Effectively, our goal is not necessarily to like fight poverty or something like that. While granted, we are going to be donating food to help the cause, that's not our direct mission. Our direct mission is to spread the word of agriculture and sustainable agriculture on campus to students of NC State, and I think by association we can help those people through what we grow and through what we do. But I mean, it's not our direct mission.
It's really just to get people thinking about where their food comes from. Because a lot of people don't even think about it. You just sit down and eat a meal, you don't think about how that food got there, who grew it, or how someone grew that. So really linking farm to fork in a really practical aspect, and it's a great way to build community while doing that.
Yeah, most food that is on your plate travels about 2,000 miles before it gets to where you are, and that's really far. And not only is it really far, but it's creating pollution, and it's creating, it's wasting energy. And when you can grow it here, you keep money in your local economy, and you also you make a good stride in saving emissions and saving your environment by association. So effectively, we want to show that, and we want to make it not look so daunting, because some people feel like gardening is really hard and, well, I don't know how to do it. But we were pretty clueless when we started, and we've learned a ton this year, and we're going to put it back into our garden next year. And the knowledge that we have, we want to share it with people, and we want to teach them what we had to learn, because one of the most important parts of a garden like this is that you can take knowledge and you can impart it on other people, and that's really what we want to do.